The Eastbourne Miniature Steam Railway series. Written by Christopher Audrey. Weston and the Lost Ring. The railway had been very busy, and the engines were exhausted. Both Eastbourne and number 3802 were glad when at last the time came for Mr. Luke to put them away. 3802 didn't have a proper name, but he was a Great Western engine, so everyone called him Weston. Mr. Mike and the family were just going home one day when the telephone rang. "I'm very sorry," they heard Mrs. Rachel say. "Have you got any idea where it was dropped?" She listened again and wrote a number on a piece of paper. "That was a lady who was here today," she told the others. "She lost a valuable ring and thinks it may have fallen off her finger during a train ride." "Or when she got out of her car," suggested Mr. Mike. "No," said Mrs. Rachel. "She was wearing it when she got on the train, but can't remember seeing it since." Mr. Mike sighed. "It would be like looking for a needle in a haystack," he said. "Okay, we'll have a look first thing in the morning, eh, Luke?" "We might stand a better chance if we walked around in opposite directions," suggested Mr. Luke. "A different angle, like." So the next morning, they did just that, while Miss Sherrill searched the area by the station, but found nothing. They kept looking as the trains ran around that day too, so the engines got to know about it. "Is it like one of my piston rings?" Eastbourne wanted to know. Mr. Mike laughed. "No," he said, "it's like the ring Mrs. Rachel wears on her finger, only bigger and sparklier. But no one, not even the engines, could see it." A week later, there was a day of bright sunshine. It was a special event day, and Mr. Mike and Mr. Luke got the engines out early. The engines weren't pleased, and Weston grumbled most of all. Later, when the sun was at its highest, Weston came out of the tunnel. Suddenly, he thought he saw something shining beside the line. "What's that?" he asked Mr. Luke. But they were going fast, and by the time they had stopped, they had forgotten the place. "We'll go slower next time," promised Mr. Luke. So they did, and this time Mr. Luke saw it too. He stopped, and there at the edge of the line, almost hidden in the long grass, was the lady's ring. They took it back to the station in triumph. "It was Weston who spotted it," said Mr. Luke. "That's what comes of getting out of bed so early." The lady was delighted when Mrs. Rachel told her the good news. She made a special journey to the railway that evening to thank everyone, and most of all, number 3802. "You're a very clever engine," she said. Weston was very proud.